Okay. These first few exercises, the idea is that from the lower part of your ribs to your hips doesn't really move. We're just trying to move this upper part of the spine. And so the first exercise we'll do is we'll push the chest forward and round your upper back. Push forward and round. Notice how you can do it with a big arch in your low back. So we're really trying to hold the core nice and steady and not too much of the shoulders doing the work. It's really the chest forward and then the upper part of your middle back goes back. I'm going to turn to the side. You don't have to, just so you can see. Forward, back. You can see my hips are moving a little bit, but not as much as if I really let them go. So really trying to hold it in place. Forward and back, forward and back. Try to keep your head still so that your head doesn't move with you. And we'll do each of these exercises for 1 minute. All right, so the next one is I want to keep my shoulders on the same line, and I'm going to move to the side. So side to side. Now you don't need to go so far that it hurts, but you want to find some mobility. Notice how you can leave your head behind. Really try to keep your head in line. You can also do it where you dip one shoulder. Really try to keep the shoulders level. Again, this part of your body, your belly, from your low ribs to your hips, stays mostly still. You can find some engagement in your core to do that. Notice if you're holding your arms really weird, try to let them be a little bit softer. It's nice to do these in front of a mirror so you can see if one shoulder's dropping or if your head's really going to the side. Nice. The next one we're going to do is we're going to keep that lower rib down and we're just going to lift our chest ever so slightly. So I like to put my hand here, but you can kind of put it on your belly to hold. There's not really movement. So it's not like this, because that's mostly our low back. We're just thinking right in the center of our sternum, tilted up. Make sure you're breathing. You can hold the bottom part of your sternum down so that it's mostly your chest. What we're looking for here is mobility in the upper spine. Mobility in the low spine and your neck is already probably pretty good, but where all the ribs attach can get a little glued. So we're not trying to expand it too much, just give it some space. Remember to breathe. Okay, the next one is side flexion. So again, stay tight here. And we're going to come down and down. You might get a little crampy. That's okay. Warm it up. We're not trying to go through these too fast. Notice one shoulder sometimes likes to take you into a twist. Really try to stay in this lateral plane. Again, I'm not bumping my hips out. I'm staying pretty firm, so it's mostly the upper part of the spine that's finding mobility. Again, you can have your hands here, by your legs, whatever feels right for you. Nice. Next, we're going to move into a twist. So I'm going to keep my feet planted. I'm going to move my head, then my chest, then my hips. Move my head, my chest, my hips. Head, chest, hips. Head, chest, hips. It feels better for you to keep your head in line with your chest. And then move your chest and head together. And then your hips, that's fine too. Or if you're like, that's just too confusing, you can simply go into these nice, easy twists. Again, we're not trying to go to our biggest twist. There will be a little bending and straightening of your legs. Try not to make it so dramatic. It's not this really dramatic twist and curl. Nice. So the next one we'll do is we'll take our feet a little bit wider now. And now that same side flexion, except this time we're gonna let our hips move. And we're gonna take our hand all the way down as we're pushing this part up. So the high side of your ribs gets pushed up. As you reach the other arm down, your hips move a little bit, the knees bend more. And just opening it up a little bit more. So now we're not so worried about keeping the hips in the same place, and we still want to stay in this lateral plane. So we don't want to kind of push our butt out or find a big back bend or a fold. We're trying to stay really in this side angle flexion. Breathing. Nice. So the next one, I'm going to turn to the side. You don't have to. I'm going to slowly bring my chin to my chest and then round my upper back. Really just slowly trying to articulate one piece of my spine at a time. When I come to a point where it's going to come from my hips instead of my spine, then I come on back up. And then I go down again. You'll notice if you go too low that it'll feel just like you're folding from your hips and your spine isn't changing. So really go nice and slow. There's no need to do any kind of speed with these. We're really trying to find that slow articulation of each part of your spine. Nice. And we're kind of going to do the opposite. So from here, want to reach up with the crown of your head, up with your chest, and then into a slight back bend. Now start slow on these. I like to keep my gaze forward. That way I don't get too dizzy. Think of pushing your chest up to the sky. We want to find length in your low back as you open up. So you can go way back if that feels okay to you, or really accentuating that first chest opening move we did by taking it a little bit further. Remember, the gaze can make you dizzy, so be nice to yourself. Keep your gaze down if that's better. Nice. Okay, now we'll get into the arms a little bit. So a little bend in your knees, and we're just going to kind of swing our arms back and forth. Just kind of opening up this shoulder a little bit. Getting some mobility. Feeling how your shoulder joints are doing. Again, nothing too rough, too big. We're not trying to throw anything out. Just getting some movement in. Nice. And from here, we're going to get a little bit into our hips. So really just hip circles, taking it all the way to one side, forward, and then back. And we'll do a few one way. Notice my head's not doing too many crazy things. My head stays mostly in the same space. We can switch directions. There might be a little pop in your hips. You know, take care of your hips. If that doesn't feel right, go a little bit less. If it feels okay, sometimes it feels like an interesting massage. Switching again. Switching again. All right. So for this one, you can come to a wall. I'm just going to move this painting. Bring your hands to a wall, almost like a down dog on the wall. So from here, I'm going to kind of tighten my glutes, tighten my belly. As I bring my chest forward, I'm going to keep my armpits open and push my chest through. So I'm trying to push the upper part of my chest. You can even kind of scoop your tailbone as you do it so that you don't go into this dumping of your low back. So we'll do that 10 times. Really try to feel like you want to keep your wrists further away from the wall even as you move the center of your chest. And then we'll hold for this one. Try to, almost like you're turning your right hand to the right, turning your left hand to the left so your shoulders externally rotate. Push your chest through. Nice, and then slowly come out. Okay, for this one, it's nice and easy. So with your thumb pointed forward, simply reach forward, nice and easy. And once you get to the top, there's a slight turn as you bring your arm back. Once you get to about 90 degrees, imagine you're pushing into something really heavy so that your upper trap turns off, your lat turns on. You can even put your hand there to feel it and really like it's a lot of weight and you're pushing and then the weight's gone and you come up, slight twist, and then that weight's there again like you're pushing, pushing, pushing. Nice. And so we'll do 10 of these and really at this point try to find your lat, this side body muscle. Nice. We got 4 more. Every now and then you can check your upper trap, see if it's activated, try to get it to move down here. Last 3. 2, and then here's our last one. Nice, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So with your thumb pointed forward, come up. Turn slightly. Once you get to 90, like you're pushing into something that's resisting, and then it releases, and then you push, and then it releases, and you push, and it releases. Breathing the whole time, trying to find a way to activate your lat. Halfway there. Nice. 2 more. Last one. Nice. We're going to just do a little neck work. So you can start with your chin down, roll it to your left shoulder, and then come back down through the center, roll to your right shoulder. Back down to your left, back down to your right. Now if there's a place that feels really good to hold, you can hold there a little bit and then come to the other side. Maybe there's a place over here. Again, we're not trying to find the edge of anything. We're simply creating space and opening. Chin down, chin right, chin down, chin left. Nice. And we'll do a different way. So now it's the right ear to your right shoulder, back up. Left ear to left shoulder, back up. So now nothing else is moving. We're just finding a little bit of stretch and lengthening in your neck, the sides of your neck. Again, nice and easy, especially the first couple times you do these. They might not look so big, and that's fine. We're just bringing in new motion. Nice. Okay, we got one more for the arms. So we'll take our arms and bring your right arm under your left and then cross up. Now you might be able to grab your hands, but you might not. Now what you want to do, the arm on top, you want that elbow to come to the opposite shoulder, and then you want to take this shoulder and try to pull it back. So we're really opening this up even though our shoulder is pulling back in place. And we'll just breathe here. Try to avoid the shoulder coming forward, so you pull it back and down. 10 more seconds. Nice. And then we'll switch. So the opposite arm below, cross, touch hands if you can. Take the arm on top to the opposite shoulder and then try to pull the shoulder back. So your arm is being pulled in 2 different directions. And we breathe. More seconds. Nice. You can kind of shake it out a little bit. Awesome. So these are all the individual isolated moves, but what we can play with maybe later is combining them. So there's this idea of we had our side bend and we had our little chest lift, so you can kind of bring those together and do some circles, again holding your core in place. So that might be a fun one to try. We also have the one to the side, right, and forward and back, so you can come into this circle of your spine. You can make it bigger and have full spinal waves, right, one way and the other, or side to side. So these are fun things that if you like to, you can just play with, head leading and hip leading. You can bring some arms into it. So all right, do this a couple dozen times and then we'll make another one.